Boom, 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 boom. Okay, I think we're running. Good. Just take it out there. So, you know, so I'm looking into Candida and Candida albicans and all that. I pretty much think I'm pretty much have been infested by this, what's it called? Critter. That's one word to use it for 19 years or something like that. 19 years, yeah. Anyway, and that seems to be a thing that is just going over the so-called health system. I guess it's more likely, Anyway, let's see if we can actually get this around for camera. Maybe it will run. There we go. So this is now the cause, and just sitting here and looking at something and just listen to this guy. This is dog, by the way. I think he's a Roman Catholic. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't talked with him, but he's, apparently he's coming from a Roman Catholic family. But anyway.
Similar to that of a family member. Hold on to that.
Let's listen to the oath.
The Hippocratic Oath strongly binds a student, a graduate medical student, to his teacher. To his teacher? And the greater community of doctors with responsibilities similar to that of a family member. Okay, ready? Let's do it. I swear by Apollo the physician, Asclepius, Hygienia, and Panacea, and all the gods and goddesses as my witness.
Did you hear that? I don't hope they are taking an oath like that today, that's for sure. He talks about they take an edited version of it, but it's like, just in regards of the Hippocrates, as I understand it actually goes back to paganism. You just see the symbol of what they are using. They have the snake symbol that also goes back to a pagan god. No wonder why they don't want to actually help you and actually just, put filthy things in you. But talk about any antifungals and all that. Oh, you are a nutcase and you are just a crazy guy. And, let's get some pharma, what is it called? The crazy thing in regards of the pharma something. Let's see here if we can find it. It's just insane. Let's see. Psychopharmaca. Oh yeah, that's the Danish word for it. Psychopharmaca. And the English is what? Yeah, the camera closed down as usual. Automatically things and all that. Let's just open the. Nope, that's. It's a little slow when you're recording. There we go. Let's see what we have. In English, it's psychotropic drugs. Yeah. If you think you have a fungus problem, no. You need to get some psychotropic drugs. Yeah. Wow. It's an insane world. It's just insanity. It's just, it's criminal. It's just full of criminals, and of course they have. You're not. You're not able to actually get what you want because they are like. What shall we say? What's it called when you're standing in the door? Another word for it was. Thinking. When you have a gatekeeper. Oh yeah, gatekeeper. So they're like gatekeepers, because they have the ability to actually write out these things, but you're not actually, you're not able to actually get it for yourself, at least not in this nation. When you find out, I think I have a fungus infection all over my body. Okay, so what to do? Well, of course, there's a lot of natural things and all that, and I've, tried a lot of things down through the years and all that. But I was pretty much kicked out of the office of the doctor because I asked for antifungals program. No, he didn't want to apparently. But he wanted me to apparently send me to one of these crazy guys that just wants to fill you up with, what was it called? Psychotropic drugs, It's like, nutcase, totally nutcase. Let's not try something that might actually help. No, let's just, throw you to these. Anyway, so in regards of, I wonder if they still take this oath in regards of mentioning Apollo, which would be the sun god, I think, in regards of Apollyon and so forward. Apollo, yeah. And some of the other gods, so-called gods, demons, pretty much. When people are worshipping these, they're worshipping something else than the creator. So, yeah. So, they're taking an oath from, of course, Yeshua said, or Jesus said, that we shouldn't take an oath. Huh? So already there, I guess.
That, according to my ability and judgment, I will keep this oath and contract. Ready? To hold him who taught me this art, equally dear to me as my parent, to be a partner in life with him, and to fulfill the needs when required, to look upon his offspring as equal to my own siblings, and teach them this art if they shall wish to learn it, without fee or contract. And that by set rules, lectures, and every other mode of instruction, I will impart my knowledge of the art to my own sons, and those of my teachers, sons of my teachers, and to students bound by this contract and having sworn this oath to the law of medicine, but to no others. I will use dietetic regimes which will benefit my patients. In other words, I'll use diet. According to my greatest ability and judgment, I will do no harm or injustice to them. Just go there for a second. I will use dietary regimes or regimens which will benefit my patients. Who teaches you those dietary regimens?
Well, pretty much no one. You go to the doctor, and I haven't heard once from one of these, white coats, that knows some Latin and all that and can spew out the. Anyway, I haven't heard any dietary, in regards of my diet, down through the years. So, that's, yeah. Anyway, let's, but of course, diet does, do a huge amount of difference and all that. And so, if you're feeding the fungus and taking something against the fungus, well, that's not really. Then you're feeding and, just stupidity. Anyway.
Because medical school didn't. I will not give a lethal drug or a deadly drug to anyone, if I am asked, nor will I advise such a plan. Similarly, I will not give a woman a pessary to induce an abortion. In purity and according to this...
Well, it's not all the oath that, some of it sound pretty good, But, it's just beginning with, in regards of these false gods, That's really not a positive thing. And would you really need to take an oath for actually doing good things? It does sound in regards to the sun things and all that, sons. That sounds a little like Roman Catholicism, but of course, in regards to this white coat system, it seems to actually hospitals, for example, goes back to the Knights of Malta. And the Knights of Malta is just the nowadays hospitalos, the knights that is governed by, the Antichrist! By the way, and who's the Antichrist? Oh yeah, every Protestant knew who the Antichrist was. And why would they know that? Because they were protesting the Antichrist. It's just the stupidity, It's like, anyway, all roads leads to Rome. And the Antichrist is the office of the so-called papacy. The cult of the papacy. Calling him, Holy Father. What did Jesus say? Or Yeshua. What did Yeshua say? Hey, there's one Father. Boo! He's in heaven. Or actually in the heavens. In Hebrew, it's plural in regards of heaven and all that. So it's Shamayim. It's, heavens. The heavens. Anyway. So you have one Father. He's not in Rome, but he is where? In the heavens. Yeah, okay. And this guy in Rome thinks I'm the, so-called Holy Father. Well, I would say he would be the unholy faker and high priest of paganism, Satan's puppet, pretty much. Anyway, so, yep, every Protestant knew that in the past. So, but don't get me wrong, in regards of Doug, I really love a lot of the information that he has. He seems like a wonderful guy, but he's might actually be a Roman Catholic as well. But, really, he's giving a huge amount of information in regards of fungus, and that's absolutely wonderful. This guy is, but, you still have to be careful, I'm always on my toes when it's Roman Catholics, So anyway, eat the meat and spit out the bones. But it's just interesting beginning of the oath. Again, I do wonder if they still use that, if they still actually, by all these pagan gods, And of course, a Christian would never be able to take an oath like that. And by the way, Yeshua, said, and I've actually said it once, I think, he told us not to take any oath,
Divine law, I will carry out my life and my art. I will not use a knife, even upon those suffering from stones, but I will leave this to those who are well trained in this craft. Yada, yada, yada. I want you to just go with me. I will hold him who taught me this art as dear as my...
Yeah, it sounds like they have like a father-son, relationship like the Roman Catholics, Well, Yeshua said don't call anyone on earth a father. Well, apparently that also just went over the whole system of, the mystical religion of Romanism, which says it's Christianity, yet, it's a filthy system. Now, Yeshua warned us about wolves in sheep clothing. Now, what does a wolf in sheep clothing look like? Well, he looks like the real thing, but he's not. Okay? So when people are running around and calling themselves Father, and even go so far to call themselves Holy Father, that just, should be some problems here, Should be, if you're actually going to listen to our Master telling us that don't call anyone on earth Father. Because you have one Father and he is in the heavens. So again, you seem like to have this father-son relation. It seems like there's something going on there. Not a surprise, I guess, but anyway. Let's see what Doc has to say.
Parents, excuse me. Somebody's teaching me a couple of classes, and that's my parent?
Oh, there we go. My parent, yeah. So again, this family relationship, again, same thing with the Roman Roman Catholicism, universalism. Oh, the satanic ecumenical movement. Oh, let's just join up all, with the Antichrist 666. Oh yeah, that sounds like a splendid idea. Let's just, go all along and, go back to Rome and the puppet of Satan. Yeah, let's not just actually read the Bible and actually stand on the Bible. No. Let's go to the twisters, these wolves in sheep clothing. Yeah, it's Roman Catholics. It's the most filthy religion on this earth. And why is it filthy? Well, because it's making itself out to be something it's not. That's pretty much it. They worship a dead, round, flat, dry cookie. That's what they worship. Yeah, they worship a cookie. Yep. They think the so-called priest, the so-called father, right, makes the cookie, or the unleavened wafer, into God, Abomination, utterly abomination. They think it's okay to worship the cookie. Yeah. And of course, it had, they really like the day of Sunday, because Sunday is what? The venerated day of the sun god, Sol Invictus. It's the first day of the week. Yeah. No, we changed that in 1973 here in this nation that I'm in. Oh, so we made the last day into the sixth day and the first day into the last day. Yeah, it's just utter bullshit, It's just utter bullshit. But people, believe Sunday is the last day of the week now. Very few actually know that Saturday is the last day of the week. It has been the last day of the week since the beginning for around 6,000 years. But no. Let's apparently just compromise with the devil and being led astray. Of course, Christ Mass. Oh, Christ Mass. Oh, Christ Mass is Christians, they say. Really? Oh, really? Really? Yeah, that's where we see in the bullshit, square box, we see the Antichrist making the cookie cheese. Now, I couldn't go on seeing that bullshit, It's just utterly disgusting, bowing down before idols and kissing them and all that. I couldn't handle it. I really thought that in our regards of getting some, I really felt that I should see it last time. Not because I really wanted to, but because, then I had seen it with my own eyes, But after the third statue thing, I was done. The first thing was bowing down and kissing this little child statue thing, an idol. And then, they go up to the altar thing and bowing and all that. Then they go to the, the woman statue with and I couldn't go on. But anyway. So apparently Roman Catholics are commanded to go to church, as I understand it, in regards of the synagogue of Satan, this whorehouse, and there they make the cookie Jesus. Yeah, the cookie Jesus. Well, a false version of Jesus, and they think to sacrifice him again for the living and the dead. That's totally nutcase. Anyway, that's only one of the, just keep on going in regards of Roman Catholicism. It's just the most filthy system, The Mohammedans just pretty clear stinking wolves, it's not, you can smell them miles away, but these Roman Catholics are deceivers. And if they're not deceivers, they should get out of the system, because it's just abomination. It's an utter, you see these so-called Protestants nowadays now running back to the Antichrist. And I'm like, hey, what are you doing? Why you, ecumenical love and all that bullshit. If anyone standing on the, pulpit speaking love songs or singing love songs to the Antichrist, I would first thing in a Protestant place, kick him out. Get him a good warm booty, and bye-bye, And these people are getting money to stand. Many of these people don't even believe. And people are like, it doesn't matter if the priest doesn't believe and this and that. He can still teach and all that. I know. If he doesn't believe, he doesn't have the spirit of truth, right? So why would you have that guy standing on the podium speaking, the word of God? It's just incredible. And a lot of these guys are also Freemasons. Well, Freemason is Satanism. Actually, apparently seems to go back to the Knights of Templars, or the Knight Templars. They actually think themselves to be Templars and all that. I actually have a book on that. I didn't like having the book. I actually should. I have some issues in regards to the library, actually, so I need to get. This is like on Freemasonry. Now, I would have this book. Well, I don't really like it. It's just bullshit. I just wanted to, apparently this is in regards of the Nordic nations, in regards of every single decree in the Freemason Lodge and all that. And I heard that the Freemasons are actually in control of Denmark, pretty much. So they have all the high positions and all that in regards of, and of course Freemasonry goes back to Rome. Now I know that Roman Catholics will, oh no, you know, in regards of they have these different nights and they think they're against each other and blah blah blah. You know, Satan is a master deceiver and all roads leads back to Rome. So anyway, if anyone is from the Nordic countries, it's Norwegian, and Norwegian is pretty much Danish, so it's not actually that hard to read. Yeah, it's harder to actually understand what they say, I think, than actually reading it. But anyway, so I haven't read it all, just read some of it and all that. But apparently these guys think themselves, you know, to be Templars and, you know, Knights and Templars. And, well, who was this group of Knights of Templars actually working for, you know, before they got excommunicated or whatever, you know, in regards of the Antichrist and all that? Well, it doesn't mean that it couldn't go back, right, in regards to this, you know, and being actually used to hurt the Protestants nations, you know, those that actually was Protestants. Anyway, whatever. Also the signs that they use, and, you know, they also use Latin. And why would they use Latin? Why do we actually have Latin? You know, we have the Latin in the medical system, and, you know, the $1 bill, you know, in regards to the, you know, there's Latin on the $1 bill. Now, why would that be Latin on a $1 bill in regards to the New World Order, which is pretty much just the Old World Order, with the Roman Emperor in the lead? I call it poop doom. I think that's a much better word. Poop doom. That's where we are going, and that's where we are heading. This world is, you know, going under this one world ruler of the Antichrist with the number 666. So, anyway, yeah, going in that direction. So in regards of Candida and all that, you know, I'm trying to collect all the things and all that, and I found a lot of material, and actually this guy actually has a, you know, dog from Know the Cause. You can go in. Actually, it's a pretty good program. It actually has a lot of good things and all that. But anyway, so they also have a group in regards of other people, you know, trying to figure out things and all that. It's actually pretty. It's seems to be a pretty good group where people are not just calling you a nutcase, right? And want to, you know. This is incredible. This society is so sick. You know, I found a guy that talked about diflucan, that if you have an issue in the, you know, the groin area, you know, actually in the tip of your, you know, manhood, you could actually take diflucan for 8 days, and it might actually fix it. Oh, so why didn't anyone actually tell me like 19 years ago, before it began to spread all over my body, you know? Now, of course, not pretty visible, you know, it's just from the inside, you know, I felt it just moving up in my body, and, you know, until it hit my head. Then I began to get all these floaters in my eyes. Yeah, I don't know if it has anything to do with it, but these floaters does look like Candida, you know. I was actually looking, there's three forms of Candida that is apparently the three most things that makes issues and all that. And I was trying to find some pictures of the other two and all that, and it doesn't really look like the other two, you know. Candida pretty much fits the bill in regards to the floaters that I have in my eyes. Now it could be something else, you know, as apparently they say, you know, it's just totally normal to have things in your eyes. You have that, or, you know, you're born with that. Well, I didn't have it when I was a child, okay? You know, so, but no, it's normal. Oh, yeah, okay, it's normal. Well, you know, it's just, I'm the nutcase, apparently, you know, everything is just normal in regards of things here and there. So, anyway, yeah, but they pretty much look like, you know, the strings and all that, and I've been able to see them growing and all that over the years. You know, when I remember, you know, they hadn't grown so much in my eyes at that point, and I was doing a juice fast, you know, with, what's it called? You know, with fresh pressed juice and all that. And of course, there was a lot of sugar in regards to that, the juice that I drank. And I remember that they were really, growing fast in my eyes at that point. I could just follow and see, oh, they're growing, growing pretty quickly. Of course, I was feeding the fungus. I was feeding the fungus with sugar. A lot of sugar. Over the years, you try different things and try to think, to see if you can find it. I didn't, I'm learning over the years, it's like you're standing on your own 2 feet in regards to these things, apparently. Yeah, it's, but I guess I'm beginning to, but still there's so much misinformation on Candida albicans and all that. And when you don't have totally visible symptoms, it's like a silent killer, actually, just going in, you can feel something is wrong and you can see these, but it's anyway. Of course, one of the first things you have to do is to stop drinking alcohol. Hey, no doctor actually told me to stop drinking alcohol. I was actually given creams for antifungal things in regards of downstairs and all that, but it didn't really work. I got 3 different things. I actually was told that one of the things that you should actually not have done that. Yeah, it's nice to know that you know what you're doing, right? You're white coat murderers. But anyway, they are pretty much murderers. They're defending this wicked system of the medical mafia, killing off a huge amount of people. It's funny also. Dog thinks that cancer is fungus, and it's interesting. Over the years, I was seeing the same. I did research in regards of cancer, and at some point in regards to the truth movement, and all that, seeing these different things, and then I went, in regards of fungus, and I was getting in regards, it must be fungus, it's like I have, when I eat the wrong things, it reacts. It pretty much has its own life. But the thing is, I wasn't cured in my, if I could have just have taken diflucan for 8 days at that point and been, and then they actually would have told me, hey, you don't drink beer anymore, don't drink alcohol, you need to change your diet, But no, there was, the itch, I remember in the beginning, the itch was, and of course, still some, but now I found out if I eat only meat, cow meat or a grass-fed cow meat or sheep, I can actually, really, really lower the thing in my groin, and that's wonderful. Now I have other issues. I have I made I went to the bakery at some point. I went into a hole, actually, sometimes you just, it's like, okay, you just drop everything. And I went to the bakery, stupid, because bakery, what is that? That's bread, sugar, probably also mycotoxins, which is fungal poison and all that. And then, of course, 2 of the times that I was down there, I bought sugary things as well. I should have known better over the years, but people, the doctors and others try to make you feel like it's something that is wrong with you. It's all in your head. You're just making these things up and all that. And I, in regards to my doctor, he kicked me in pretty much, 15 minutes is gone and blah, blah, blah. And he wrote me back that, after writing him, in regards of getting, so he wrote me back that, he wanted to send me to, or he had diagnosed me like, needed to go to, what is it called, a shrink or something like that, or psycho, one of these that just wants to fill you with pills that actually can hurt you, that actually, instead of actually just allowing me to do the fungus protocol. Because I've been looking into in regards of this, and I know that the fungus protocol might not be the all, what do you call it, you have to have the diet. You don't want to feed the fungus and all that. But anyway, by the way, in regards to the bakery thing, I got off by that. In regards to the bakery thing, so I went down and bought that and just exploded from my breast and just exploded up into my head and it just exploded down into my balls and exploded into my legs and all that and it's just itching, And then you need to, I need to, what is called blow on my arms because they are, it's just. So I pretty much have the itch nearly all over my body. But at least my itch in the groin has stopped and I can pretty much control that. But I was feeding it sugar, I was feeding it, I was eating bread. Stupid, and then also taking the sugary thing as well 2 of the times. I think I had like a 5-day period where I went down to the bakery and bought, bread and ate the bread, I fell in. And 2 of the times I bought things I shouldn't have, just the bread would be enough. So what was I doing? I was feeding the critters, and they exploded on me. I already had they already at some point underneath my ribs, there was like a ball, and I felt it like was a black ball. And at some point, it just exploded, and they went to one side and the other side, went around my breast, and then made a U-turn and just went into my breast from both sides, and I could just feel like they were, anyway. No one believes you anyway, right? You talk about these things. It's just something that you make up and all that. It's just, yeah. Anyway, so it's fixed there, and my one side, you had all these, I guess it must have been the lymph nodes or something like that reacting. I could feel like these hard things in my one chest, and I didn't have them in the other chest, so I was like, you get these things that, oh, you're just crazy, this is just something that is punched into your head. You can just feel that people just think you're crazy, and it doesn't really help me, does it? Yeah, you just need to go to a shrink or whatever, and you need some, instead of actually trying something, doing the research in regards to this protocol that Doc has, it's it's like, I know it's not the whole thing and all that, and I do understand that, again, the fungus are pretty good to actually, become resistant, and they might actually already be resistant to some of I don't know. The problem with fungus is, it's really persistence, and I've tried a huge amount of things down the 19 years, but just, and you might give some relief and all that, but overall it's just, yeah. I wish I knew what I know now 19 years ago. Yeah, that would have helped. But that's pretty much too late now. It's 19 years ago, and yeah. It's like thinking, how stupid can they be? How much education do you need to have to be so stupid? I don't understand it. This idea of diflucan for 8 days. They already, some of these doctors was already on in regards of, fungus, giving me these fungus creams that didn't help. They might actually have helped somewhat, but again, my diet, was, what I've been feeding the fungus, so it didn't help. And it actually just felt like it actually made it worse. But it's a lot of years ago. But, why didn't they try the diflucan? 8 days of diflucan, let's try it out. And it might actually have, might actually have been a greater possibility of it actually working at that time, because it wasn't totally, I just feel like it was going up through my body, slowly, little by little. I guess it must have been the fungus spreading little by little in its fungus form, and I think that's what I'm seeing in my eyes. I could be wrong, But, it seems like it's feeding these apparently. Now, of course, I have so many now, so it doesn't really. It's really hard to actually follow these, if they're, because there's so many of them. And then you hear stories about people being on diflucan, which is antifungal, and this diflucan can actually go anywhere in the body, pretty much. So, yeah, including the eyes. So if people are taking diflucan and the, floaters are, beginning to, go away, well, what then are the things in your eyes? Well, Candida or fungus, I would think mine was a Candida albicans. Again, of the three most known Candida versions, there's, the most of them is Candida albicans, and then the two others. I can't remember the name of the other two. Let's see if I actually have it on my computer. Oh yeah. The other is called Candida tropicalis, and then there's the Candida glabrata, and I have confirmed that also in regards of another place in regards of a Danish. I found something where they have the state thing in regards and where they talk about a little about the fungus aspect as well in regards of Candida. They say that 50% of the standard population actually have it, and it is something that is, as I understand it, in its yeast form, is part of our, most people's, gut, what do you call it, gut thing in regards of. Also, see if we can find the. No. Let's see here. Can't find it at the moment, but in regards to the Danish sources, they also mentioned in in some of these different which one was the and apparently they become really quickly can become really quickly resistant to things and actually go around if you're throwing garlic at it and or whatever. Apparently people are talking about rotating things and all that. It's like, but apparently, yeah. I tried some Nicerol. Apparently, it's called Nicerol or something like that. But it's written Nicerol in regards to my dandruff and all that. And it actually worked. The first bottle, and then I think it was the second bottle. It began to stop working. And Nicerol has something. This thing was also made for fungus and all that. And I guess, again, after using it for a couple of times, or actually, more than a couple of times, but working in the beginning, actually, so it didn't, and again, dandruff can be related to fungus as well, as I understand it. So, and also Candida. So, it worked in the beginning in regards of actually fixing my dandruff. So, I tried a lot of things and nothing really worked. I was like, oh, this works actually. This actually works. It's like a pink stuff and all that. And I was like, oh, this is great. And then I got through the first bottle or something like that and began on the second bottle and it stopped working. And then I had a third bottle that I just, let stand. I was like, okay, and then at some point I tried, it did work, let's try again, and it just didn't work anymore. But it worked in the beginning, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, in regards of the fungus might just have become resistant to it. That would have been would have made sense. Taking all these things in regards of into consideration and all that. So, in regards to taking diflucan, I know it's not and it's like if I did it, I would really, I know that maybe into some weeks, even if it's not resistant to it at the moment, it might actually become resistant to this, drug, it's not a natural thing. It's something that they apparently have made. So it's not from the nature. Nystatin is from the nature and all that. And, you would need to have both things. And I thought I think I have a beginning to get a good idea of how to do it and all that. But again, apparently, I don't have I haven't found anyone that want to prescribe me these things, and apparently you need one of these white coat murderers to write a prescription to actually let you actually have it. So I'm looking into in regards of Germany, in regards of if it's actually because apparently not all nations, has it as a prescription. So I'm like, hey, if I could go to Germany or whatever and get it there, that one might be a worthwhile thing, to try out. And I know it not, the fungus might be resistant to, I don't know. I really don't know. But I think it's worth a try to try out. I think I would see it, if it worked pretty quickly. So, but of course, this last guy that was, talking about this, and I took Doc's papers with me in regards of, and he said he actually had read the papers, but apparently that seemed not to be so, because he actually gave in and said, okay, because you're pushing so much, I'll give you what you want, I'll let you try it. But he only wanted to give me one thing, and that was the nystatin, and a low dose of it, and that's the problem as well, because if I'm going on these things, and the buckles might actually become resistance over time, I would like to have it, it's stupid just to take a little of both of them, for example. That was just total failure, because that might actually help with them actually becoming resistance. So that would be totally not case, Why would I use this, what shall we say, silver bullet to, that's just stupid, So if one is going to do it, one needs to do it rightly and correctly. I need to have the biggest chances of actually, and let's say it's only take 90% of something like that. That would be a good thing, good amount as well. And still doing the, still keeping to a diet and all that. But yeah, anyway. I don't really feel like these white coats have ever, really helped much on things, They just try to lead you into a lot of stupidities and actually making things worse. Yeah, apparently you need to do that job for them. Apparently they're incompetent, apparently. So here, I feel like I've done a lot of research over the years, because it's like me that actually have the issues, right? And then you go out to the doctor, or whatever you want to call him. And you just, anyway, so there's like three kinds of species that usually is the problem for humans. The Danish side actually had one more, but there's a lot of Candidas. There's Candida albicans, and that was the first and foremost. That is usually. Then it has some as number 2, Candida tropicalis. Then it has Candida glabrata. And then it has Candida parapistolosis or something like that. Actually pretty high as well. So I guess that must probably be the fourth thing that the Danish side was talking about. And then you pretty much have, small ones like Candida sig, Candida pelliculosa, Candida pararucosa, Candida Candida lusitania, Candida cruzi, or Candida intermedia, and Candida haemulonil, Candida goi. I guess it must be Latin names or something like that as usual, Candida guiliemundil, Candida famata, and Candida dubliensis, and Candida catenulate or something like that. And I guess these species must be those that makes issues. In regards of flucan or diflucan, which is also flucan sol or something like that on another name, but for it, but diflucan. as I understand, where the Candida has a 7% of chance of being resistant to the drug or to this antifungal thing. And funny thing, I was asking in regards of the those that give out the drugs, and I was asking them in regards of diflucan and all that, and they said in regards to the symptoms, I was asking, in regards to these symptoms that you can get by taking diflucan, couldn't these issues actually come from actually the fungus dying off, And and they said no, it couldn't, and all that. And I was like, why not, as I say, and then the connection was closed down apparently. Because if you have a lot of fungus in your body, Candida, and it begins to die, I would expect some symptoms, I wouldn't expect just, I'll just have it wonderful, yeah, anyway. So that was actually from, I guess it was from a video in regards to one of these sellers, or what do you call it, diflucan guys, in regards of women, one of these, professional whatever, where they were teaching these on diflucan. So I was just looking at that for more information and all that. So let's see if I can find the Danish information, probably confirming the things that I have in the other things. I'm not sure what Candida, was Candida this and Candida that and Candida. Oh, here we go. This is in English. Candida is what is it called? A fungus. Something more in the Danish here, but fungus. What is it called? What do you call that thing that actually when you use it to bread? Oh, leaven. Oh yeah, a leaven fungus, I guess. I'm not sure that's the right word in English. But anyway, well, there's around 500 different species or variations. Only 10 of these are usually seen involved in regards of infections in humans. Most normal is Candida albicans, but also Candida glabrata, and Candida krusea, and Candida tropicalis, and Candida parapsilosis, and more sees as a cause of infection. But anyway, we have a lot of them. We have Candida albicans, Candida glabrata, and tropicalis, and what was the other thing? But anyway, some of the same in regards of. Here they actually talk about that in regards of how you should not get these. Don't use too much antibiotic, because what is antibiotic? Well, that's they started out as fungus poison. That kills off the good bacteria and the so-called bad ones. I think that might just be what is called the problem in the gut in regards of the good guys and the bad guys in regards of bacteria. So that's as far as I can. But no, let's just kill all of it off apparently, and then of course the fungus that have no problem with the poison can just run amok. So they're talking about don't use too much antibiotic, and in regards to steroid hormone treatment, I'm not sure what that is, but then I talk in regards of women, in regards of this is an official site in regards of, I'm sitting on the State Serum Institute, the SSI.dk, and so that's and that it says you cannot be vaccinated against Candida. No. Yeah. So, some information I need to read more on. But anyway, again, apparently in regards to these fungus, you can get so many weird symptoms. So it's hard to apparently figure out what it is. I don't, when you're first beginning to find out in regards to the fungus, I don't actually think it should be that difficult actually. But apparently it is. But you can get a lot of different symptoms apparently. It might not always be the same. It's like you can have, it's just okay. So yeah, but yeah, it's pretty much just exploded from my breast. In regards of the began to have these skin what is it called? Usually I haven't had any what is it called, spots on my skin. I'm pretty much white, and I know that others have had these. You can see people having these, but I never had them, and they came. After it went up to my breast. I began to have these spots. And then it went out through the arms, and getting spots there as well. I could feel like it was going out to my arms as well, and then I got the spots. So now that it has exploded, I'm getting more and more spots by the day on my legs. And when it exploded up to my head, I could see some damages, down. It's probably hard to see on the camera, but I could see like something, it's like from one day to the other, it's like feeling like a heat, like a burning sensation. And it began to, itchy, and man, the nose itching, and it's just annoying. And I'm, never had any problem in regards of, itching before. And now I have itching on my legs, and I feel like things are crawling on me as well. Sometimes it's like, when you have an insect or something like that, a fly or something like that, and you can feel it, right? It's sometimes I feel, oh, is there something, and I'm like, that's nothing. And so it's just, I think it's the fungus that has pretty much just gone wild in my, I'm not sure where it is, in regards of, but it's itchy. That's it's annoying. And apparently my diet doesn't work on that. I guess it's not making it worse, because if I actually was eating more sugar and all that, I know it would probably irritate it as it usually does. So what could it be? Well, I think it could be fungus. I think it's Candida albicans. But, I'm just a crazy guy. I'm just, the whole so-called health system have just utterly failed me, I think. Yeah. And it could probably have been just fixed in the beginning very early on. Well, it could, if you, instead of letting it spread all over. And I'm not sure if I ever will get this sorted out. But, finding a door that might actually work, that might actually help, and who knows, it might actually destroy it all, who knows. Or at least destroy it to a place where my immune system could take over and actually get things in order again. Because it's, as I understand it, Candida can actually be a huge problem for the immune system. I think it's called macrophages or something like that, the white blood cells. Apparently there's different kinds of white blood cells and all that. But the macrophages, as I understand it, have a huge difficulty with breaking these down. When it's in its hyphen form, the white blood cells have a hard time apparently, and also when they make a sac, like I probably, the black spot I had in underneath my, was probably a fungus, I'm not a fungus sac or something. I'm not sure, It's just, could be one of these sacs where I just, I didn't really feel anything. If I I can't remember. I can't remember if I actually felt anything in regards of. I just felt like there was a black spot, just underneath my yeah. And I was eating bad foods at that point as well. So again, that's my own fault. That's many years ago. But you see it spreading more and more and more. And of course, I'm going to die at some point. But it would have been nice to just be able to actually get it killed. Yeah. So anyway, I still have this idea that trying out nystatin and diflucan could be, and I'm thinking might actually also after the if the nystatin and the diflucan works for if I go on it for a month and it actually works, it might actually be a good thing to fix another thing that is antifungus as well, just to end it off. So if there's any remnant, because resistance or whatever, that it might actually just yeah. And he had Spornox, I think it's called. I haven't looked much into Spornox yet, but it's also an antifungal thing as well. But I guess the fungus again can become resistant to these things. So it's like one have to be careful, And if you're going to do it, I think it's it's just stupid to just give a minimum dose, just training these buggers to become resistant to this thing. If you're going to hit it, hit it correctly in regards. It's just mind-boggling. That's just stupid. I guess he just gave me this minimum dose because he wanted to shut my mouth in some sense. So in regards of one of the things of the, but what's the idea of doing one of the things? It's it's just stupid. It's just let's just take it in regards of the local, but not take it in regards of the systemic thing. That's just stupid. In regards of fixing the gut, and I think it would be probably the wisest to first take nystatin and fix the gut, and look how it goes in regards of 7 or 14 days, and then hit the rest with diflucan. I think that would be the wisest choice as far as I can reason, and by what I have studied and all that, because instead of just taking 2 at the same time, if you're killing off a lot of things in regards to the first, that might be more than enough in regards of and actually just looking, do I get any symptoms by this, and then putting on the diflucan to take the to go ahead to kill things in the body might actually also be more effective, because if you actually take the gut first, yeah, I think it sounds reasonable to me to do it like that and not just both of them. So and just and nystatin is pretty much a natural product from bacteria, and that's pretty much only the gut. So my old laptop here. Another broken fan, I guess. Anyway, so I'm just going to go on in regards to this fungus thing. It's really hard, where to seek help, So, we all have fungus, but I think it's an overseen problem. And again, Doc is talking, and again, you can actually find a lot of people on the internet actually having issues with these things and trying to overcome it. So it's just the doctors that seems like to it's not, just give them some more antibiotic, right, to destroy more of the destroy more of the good, the bacteria in your gut. Anyway, but the medical mafia is just seems like deep deeply criminal. Yeah, deeply criminals. Murderers, actually. Because the medical industry is there to earn money and not actually help people. It might be, they might actually help some, but overall the system is there to earn money, money, money. Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, I don't think I have much more to say. I'm going to go back and look at what Doc tells, and beginning to understand more of the things, how things work out. Anyway, yeah, and Doc takes us to a huge, many levels deeper than I ever, and he has some, he knows some things, that's for sure. So, yeah. At least it's a lot better than these white coats that, haven't been able to figure out what is wrong and then just put you out, or you're just, hypochondria, whatever, what's it called, symmetric, whatever, someone that, just makes up the things in his mind, right? Because there's nothing more than I want to do than to go to the doctor. Yeah. Anyway, it's like what is the worst place to go to? Well, a doctor, of course. You don't want to go to the doctor. So it's like I'm just coming here to to have fun and just tell you about my private issues and all that, and then just you have to tell me that it's just making it up all you're making it up all in your mind, right? Anyway, yeah. So it's nice to actually have some people out there actually taking this thing seriously. So it's like I actually had the last guy I was up to, and he's regards I said that in regards of eating meat that actually helped on the issue down in my private what's it called, well, I guess in regards of a phallus would be a nice name for it in regards of hiding it away, but regards of it's the same thing with the Antichrist having this Egyptian erect penis standing down, in regards of St. Peter Squares. Oh yeah, but he's a Christian, they say. Oh really? Why would a Christian have a an idol penis standing in his front yard? It just doesn't make sense. Anyway, so. Yeah, I just really wonder why they didn't ever try this, 8 days of Diaflucan. I might, and actually told me to change my diet, maybe not drinking all the alcohol, which, as I understand it, alcohol is actually also coming from fungus. And I think it's actually a mycotoxin as well. I think there was something about that. And I drank a lot of alcohol. Stupidity of stupidities. Anyway, and here we go. 19 years of suffering, I guess. Yeah. Stupid choices and incompetent people to actually help you. Yeah. So. Anyway, hopefully at some point I'll get over this, but it's not really looking good. It's just going worse and worse and worse. And if the fungus is pooping, making mycotoxins, and just in my body, using my body as a toilet, and all these poisons that are very bad for you, and and fixing my immune system down as well. And again, as I understand it, the immune system has a very difficulty with actually battling Candida. And even if it can actually take these yeast form off, which is like round things and all that, it seems like that at least one source I've seen says that the immune system cannot digest these. And actually, they can go into their fungal form and then destroy the white blood cells that actually should be able to, So this is some hardcore criminals, and yeah, hard to apparently to get rid of. So, and I guess in regards of women, it's a lot easier to actually see that they have an issue in regards of the private parts and all that than it actually is in men. I didn't really, yeah. Anyway, having some red spots down there, sometimes. But like for example, if you have been on a warm water and sometimes you see these red spots and like that, and the doctor will say, "Oh, that's just normal. That's just normal." In regards of the floaters in the eyes, that's just normal. Everybody has those. Oh. In regards of eating meat, that actually helps. In regards of the issue down there, there's nothing to do with fungus. Then it cannot be fungus. What are you talking about? No, there's no meat. There's no sugar in meat, right? And what does fungus love? Sugar. So if I don't give it sugar, and there might actually be some good things in the meat. Like for example zinc. I think it's zinc that actually destroys Candida. And it seems like there's zinc in red meat. So I'm thinking maybe that's the thing that actually also helps. I don't know. But it's not helping on my itch in my skin. And it's driving me pretty in some sense nuts, It's like it's an ongoing thing, just ongoing on is. Yeah. So now being able to actually control my first, or actually my first itch, now the second itch is yeah. It's sad. It's so sad. Anyway, so what to do? I don't know really. It's just in a gray area. Doing more studies on the subject, but I still think it's a Candida infection that I have. I can't see how it could be anything else, But of course, then I'm just a crazy guy. But why not just try the nystatin and the diflucan, and then I could see if it actually helped, Instead of it's like one of the doctors, it's like looking at the screen. It's like, oh yeah, you have no problem, because this number in this, if there was anything wrong, this number would tell me, Oh, lo and behold, the magic number. Yeah, so I'm sitting here and telling you things and all that, and oh yeah, but the number, the number tells you there's no problem with me. Oh yeah. Oh. Ah, great. The last one also talks about I have, and I think that's one of the things that actually could be related to Candida as well, in regards of my last blood thing and all that. And he said that I had the hyper something, hyper, I can't remember. It was like, yeah. But anyway, I've seen that in regards of Candida as well, and so I'm thinking, oh, okay, that could be a pointer again, one more pointer that it's Candida, but apparently he could see that, and on his the holy screen apparently, and I said, I asked him, so what can I do in regards of oh, that can only be fixed with drugs and all that. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, that doesn't seem like it's just symptom treatment instead of actually going to the cause. And of course, this will not be it will not become better if. Well, I'm trying to actually pretty much eat meat at the moment, and getting some antifungals in it, natural antifungals, but yeah, it doesn't really the fungus is very persistent. So, yeah, I don't know. It really have drained me over the years. So, but hey, I'm just a crazy guy. Nothing wrong with you and blah blah blah. Yeah. Anyway, so in regards of Know the Cause, I think it's a great show. It gives you some ideas in regards of things, and he's getting with some more standard words. He also you get more understanding of also some of the difficulty where he explains the words and all that. So I have 100 hours, I guess, around 100 hours to look into, 100 shows to. I pretty much began from the start and just, going to get more knowledge on it. But I really wish I could have been on nystatin and diflucan at the moment. Because after it exploded, yeah, I wish I could have just, given it a huge knock, and hopefully it would have worked. Yeah. So, but I guess, the white coat murderer wants me more on, these drugs that absolutely won't help on anything, instead of actually trying something that might work. Actually, it did say that, he didn't have, he didn't know much about that, in regards of diflucan and all that. Well, he doesn't need to know much. He just needs to write it out to me, And if he doesn't know much about it, what about researching it? You're the white coat, right? That should know about these things, right? But in some sense, I just need the guy to actually write it out to me, Don't really need his stupidities, I've over these 19 years, you give up on that system, And of course, in regards of pagan system and the Latin words and all that, I guess that's and murdering people, They want, what is cancer? Well, it might actually be fungus. But we don't want to go there, right? It's just stupid. It's just insane. These filthy murderers. Like, mammon, right? And they will do, if they tell the truth or go outside their box and all that, they might lose their job and be fired and all that. Yeah. So yeah, the question is, can I get it from an outside source? I have seen some web pages that it seems like you can actually order things, but the question is, can you actually be sure that you are getting the right things? Can you trust the sources? Or if I can actually get it in Germany, without a prescription in Germany instead of Denmark, I don't know. Would I need a German card? I'm not sure if I would actually need a German card to actually. No, if you don't need a prescription, you should be able to buy it, right? Without any issue. That might be a way. That might be a way to do it like that. Yeah. Anyway. So, I guess life goes on. And the devil is making us, is leading the world, to the Antichrist. The Roman Emperor, the Roman Caesar, the so-called Pontiff, the Pontifex Maximus, the high pagan priest. That's the devil leading us back to that. And that's the so-called Pope, the Pope as I call him, the Antichrist, the unholy faker. Yeah, that's pretty much him. The man of the number 666. His most smelliness, Anyway, yeah, sitting on this great stinking white toilet throne of his given to him by Satan. So the dragon. Yeah. Anyway, have a good day, all of you. Yeah, going to look some more on Dark Kaufman. And actually, he's also talking about the yeast connection. I saw that program as well. Apparently, that guy has died. But that was in 1986. So that's like, 2 years after I was born. And he's talking about there's a problem in regards of things here and there and all that. So already they were onto things in regards of issues, and yet, and I don't know how many antibiotics I actually have been given. I remember my father was forcing a pill into me when I was a child. When I had, I think I had, my ears was hurting me and my throat was hurting me and all that. And I pretty much just forced this pill into me. And that has probably been antibiotic. Also, I remember having itch in regards of my star. I do wonder if that would probably have been after, so I do wonder if there might actually have been a connection. If I've been giving antibiotic, destroying some of my bacteria in my gut, that might actually have been leading to my itching in my butthole in regards of maybe fungus going. I don't know. And then of course that, and then might actually have gone viral in my body. Yeah. Oh well, because when you kill off the police, the criminals have a way of, that might actually be doing a pretty good work in regards of as long as there's police around. But when the police are destroyed, the criminals tend to do their criminal acts. So. Yep, anyway, have a good day, all of you. I'll go on looking on. It was just interesting in regards of this oath thing and all that. In regards of mentioning Apollo and whatever, all these pagan gods. I really do wonder if they still do that, Why would you take an oath for pagan gods? As a Christian, that would be utterly, and just the oath itself. Anyway, have a good one. Bye bye.